Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are putting together a practical field guide for something that can be really tough to navigate: gaslighting. We're going to cover how to identify it, how to handle it, and how to recover from what can be a super confusing and draining experience. So let's dive in. Our source material kicks things off with this line, and wow, it really hits home. It perfectly frames gaslighting not as some big dramatic moment, but as the slow, almost invisible leak that, over time, just makes you question everything you thought was solid ground. And that's what it feels like, right? That's the result of that slow leak. It's that nagging feeling. You know, when you're sure you heard something or you remember an event happening a certain way, but someone tells you so convincingly that you're wrong that you actually start to wonder, wait, did I just make that up? Okay, so this is probably the most crucial thing to get right from the start. We are not talking about a simple argument or one person remembering things differently. No, the real power of gaslighting is in its repetition. It is a pattern of behavior that just methodically chips away at your sense of reality over time. So let's put an official definition on it. Gaslighting is a pattern of manipulation, and its specific goal, whether the person doing it is conscious of it or not, is to make someone else doubt their own reality, their own memory, their own perceptions. At the end of the day, it's really about control through confusion. So if it's a slow leak, how in the world do you spot it before the whole room floods? Well, the first step is just to recognize the behaviors. This isn't about trying to read someone's mind, it's about recognizing the patterns. So let's look at the key signs to watch out for. You know, these tactics rarely show up alone. They kind of work as a team to create that confusion. First, you've got that flat-out denial with certainty. You say something happened and they just hit you with a brick wall. That never happened. Then there's minimizing and mocking, with classics like, "You're being way too sensitive." Or they might completely rewrite the timeline, twisting facts around until somehow it's all your fault. Another really subtle one is isolation by proxy, where they talk about you to other people to sort of undermine you from a distance. And it's all wrapped up in this confuse and exhaust cycle. You get this whiplash of warmth one minute and then bewildering blame the next, and it just keeps you totally off balance. This slide just captures that feeling perfectly, doesn't it? When you're in one of these conversations, you're trying to find something solid to hold on to, but there's just nothing there. You're arguing with a reality that keeps shifting, with things that are constantly being denied. It is literally like trying to grab a handful of fog. It's impossible, and it is completely exhausting. And this is so important to understand. Look, people disagree. Healthy conflict happens all the time. But in a healthy conflict, the goal is always repair. You're trying to understand each other and reconnect. Gaslighting has a totally different goal: erasure. The point isn't to solve a problem. The point is to win by making your reality, your feelings, your memory just completely disappear. Okay, so you recognize the fog, you're in it. What do you actually do? This next section is your immediate response kit. These are practical tools you can use right in the middle of one of those confusing conversations. Here are 5 really powerful things you can do. Number 1, just pause the conversation. You do not have to solve this right now. Step away, give yourself space to think. 2, pin reality to paper. Write down what just happened. This is not for them, it's for you. 3, you can try using what are called neutral mirrors, just stating the facts as you understand them, without any emotion. 4, if you get a vague accusation, refuse the fog. Ask for a specific example. And number 5, probably the most important, choose to set a boundary instead of getting sucked into a debate you can't win. I really want to just sit with this for a second because this is a huge mental shift. The goal is no longer to convince the other person that you're right. The goal is to preserve your own record of reality for yourself. You're switching from being a debater to being an archivist of your own life. And let me tell you, that is where your power is. Okay, stepping away in the moment is one thing, but what about the long-term effects? This next part is all about the aftercare, the process of healing your own internal compass and really rebuilding trust in yourself after it's been systematically weakened. This aftercare part is just so vital, so let's walk through this. First, you've got to recalibrate your instruments. And that means you should expect a kind of detox period where even normal, healthy interactions might feel weird or suspicious. That's totally normal. You're just finding your true north again. Second, reality check with 2 or 3 solid, trusted people. You're not looking for them to rescue you, just for them to be a steady mirror for your experience. Third, continue to rebuild that paper spine. Keep a private log of events, of agreements. This is for your own clarity. Fourth, and this is a big one, name the grief. You have to acknowledge the loss of trust or time or the hope you had for the relationship. And finally, choose distance without slander. Creating space for yourself isn't an attack. It's an act of self-preservation. It's giving yourself oxygen. All right, for this last section, we are going to get super practical. We're going to look at actual words you can use, scripts, and some common mental traps to look out for. This is your toolkit for moving forward. Just look at how clear and simple these are. They're not overly emotional, they're not accusatory, they're just calm, factual statements about what you're going to do. I'm not discussing this while my reality is being dismissed. That is such a powerful boundary. Or, if this continues, I will step away. See? You're not asking for permission. You are simply stating a fact about what your next action will be. And this table here shows the internal shifts, the mindset changes that make all the difference. The trap is getting stuck trying to prove you're innocent. The shift is realizing I am responsible for my behavior, but I am not responsible for their story about my behavior. The trap is waiting to find the absolute perfect words to say. The shift is knowing that a boundary needs follow-through, not poetry. And you don't need a majority vote to know that your experience was real. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. You could spend all of your energy out there screaming at the storm, trying to convince it that it's raining, or you can accept that the rain is falling and your only job is to protect yourself and get inside. It's all about saving your energy and protecting your own reality. So I will leave you with this question from the source. It's not about changing them. It is all about securing you. What is one small, clear boundary you can set, maybe even today, to protect your own reality? Because that is where your power begins.